Freestyle is one of the most dynamic, difficult, and overall fun ways to play 2xKO, but there's a reason that many of the most dominant teams opt out of using it. It just doesn't feel right. With the wrong characters, that is. If you've been keeping up with tournament play at all, or just, getting smashed in your ranked games, you'll probably notice that pretty much the only team you see taking Freestyle is Yasuo Echo, with some Vi Echo, but even then they seem to still prefer 2x assist. So why do Yasuo Echo like it so much? To understand this, we need to first understand sandwich pressure, the place where Freestyle exceeds the most. This is when you are on one side of the opponent and your assist is on the other side. This is two great things for us. One, it means we can't push the enemy very far with our moves, which is a very good thing in this scenario. And two, means when we swap to our other character, we can immediately start hitting the opponent. And with Freestyle, we can just go again. But that means we have to first get our assist on the other side of the opponent. And there are a couple of ways of doing this. The first is getting some sort of hard knockdown like a throw, calling assist, and then jumping over the enemy to manually place yourself and the assist. Second, and similar, we do a low recovery move, call assist, then jump over the enemy, typically attempting to cover whatever gap you've created with jumping down heavy. But both of these have issues giving higher skill players options to counteract your setup. And the second one is honestly really slow unless you play Ahri or Echo and instantly air dash over the opponent to really lock up the block string. This brings us to option 3, call an assist that covers you using a move that allows you to phase through the opponent. An immediate issue you might notice with this is that very few characters can actually phase through the opponent, and even in Echo's case he actually can't unless he uses an assist that pulls the enemy in. This is why Freestyle is less common than the other fuses, because to consistently get its best win condition, which is a disgusting sandwich mix, you have to take two characters that synergize in such a specific way, not even taking into account things like how they play in neutral together and if they share poor matchups. And our fourth and final option is have an assist that goes on the other side of the opponent. This step is Yasuo. Yasuo is the king of Freestyle. He just takes away the complexity of creating a sandwich situation by just doing it. On top of this, his stance special 1 puts him at a very good distance on the other side of the opponent, meaning almost any assist gives him enough coverage to create a sandwich. So now that our sandwich has been created, how do we take advantage of it? Our basic level is mental overload. As our point character, we string into an overhead, and then before it goes off, we tag and go for a down light. This works really well even if people are bad at reacting to overheads typically, because the screen freeze from the tag gives most people just enough time to recognize the overhead, but if they're a little too slow, it's very hard to then process that, oh wait, I actually need to block the other direction, and in fact I need to now block low and then react to overheads from the other character. Something important for you to remember if this very scenario is happening to you is that you don't need to block that overhead from before high at any point, because even though the move still goes off, any move that goes off from not the point character, so after someone does a move and then tags to their other character, is now a mid. So to block it, all you need to do is block in the direction from the character that has been tagged to, regardless if it's low or a high, because now it's just a mid. And with this now, the beauty is that if they block it, we can just do it again, potentially even staying as our original character just long enough to let that overhead go through this time. And honestly, just alternating these two options, you'll probably start hitting most players, but let's get a little more advanced to just, expand our options. Step 2 is enabling setup. We do this with any charge move. While every character has their held heavy, there are other moves, and a notable one is Vi's charge special 1. So essentially what we do is a move into this held move. From the moment we start holding it, we tag, making sure to never let go of that button. And then as the other character, we do a couple of lights or low lights to allow the move to actually hit, and take full advantage of the plus frames it gives us to create a setup. To check that this is working, what we'll do is turn the bot back to block to first hit. This way you can make sure the string is super tight. What this will also mean is that the crossover protection is active. Once you start getting comfortable with this for your setup, we can also start doing a very slight delay on our lights for setup to potentially catch the opponent in a crossover. Just make sure you alternate between neutral light and down light so that you don't get parry matched on. And so this is where if you're a controller player, you're probably wondering, how the hell do I hold heavy and press light? So one option is to remap your buttons, I guess, but I use the default buttons on a controller, so I'll show you. It looks fucked up. It looks like this. Yeah, that. And this is what it looks like in that whole actual sequence. Yeah, it's a little bit messed up. Okay, now back to the video. And now what we do at this time is very character dependent. For Ahri and Echo, this gives you enough time to jump into an aerial move that gives you the option to mix up with a double overhead, overhead to low, or overhead into cross up overhead. With Echo, additionally, it lets you get charge special 2s, giving you a lot of flexibility in whatever mix-up you want to go for. On champions like Warwick, Yasuo, and Teemo, you can go for instant overheads, though Teemo's doesn't require such a drastic setup most of the time. Also, we cannot be serious about this motherfucker getting a full conversion off this. What are we doing? And any character can use this as an opportunity to jump, trying to make it hard to tell if you'll end up on the same side or the other side. Adding pressure by every now and then doing an empty jump, meaning you do no aerial into either a low or a throw when you hit the ground. You could do this with any fuse, so why freestyle? Well, with freestyle we can do it twice, but more than that we can go for riskier options that would usually leave us in a poor scenario, because we can just tag back to our point character to cover our own ass. But there'll also be times where you're too far away to get the setup. But if your assist is over there, you can go to your assist and do something that allows your main character to catch back up. So now you're schmixing with freestyle, but what if you could never get there in the first place? The main downside of freestyle is the lack of neutral strength. The 2x assist fuse very obviously allows for more coverage on the screen, and double down allows for some really cheap neutral skip sequences for certain characters. So how with freestyle do we win neutral? Well, the answer is simply it's kind of to be better. Unless you're playing Echo Yasuo, then the answer is to be a little bit cheap, to be honest. So essentially it's best to just have a neutral skip and hope it works out, then play it from there. But if you don't have that, you need to start getting creative. We have a much larger timer than 2x or double down after using our unique mechanic, so we want to do something very impactful when we switch to our other character. Good options are long screen covering moves or well-placed projectiles that either let your first character set up or get some screen control, allowing you to better wait out the 6 seconds required for your assist to come back. Considering this huge 6-second timer, we also want to typically avoid using freestyle in combos unless it specifically kills for this reason. Because the longer we have to wait for this timer, simply put, the longer before we can start doing these strong mix-ups and neutral options again. And there you go. That pretty much sums up how freestyle works, how to use it. Make sure to like, subscribe, see more videos like this, and comment below any questions you got or suggestions. Also check out the videos popping up on the screen right now. YouTube thinks you like them. See you.